It's Friday night AOSC back, and it's round number 13 this week, coming to you from Summit Point in Season 11, all thanks to Jinx Shifters and RaceKraft Simulations. I'm Matt Kavanagh in the commentary box, and joining me tonight is Daniel Leet once again. Welcome.
G'day, Matt. Great to be back for another one, and interesting to be back at Summit Point this week. Going to be a nice short circuit and plenty of fun for the guys to work their way around here tonight.
That's exactly right. It's short, sharp, and a lot of laps to do in 150Ks tonight. 47 laps from Summit Point tonight. It's race 203 in AOSC. All thanks to Jinx Shifters. All of our other sponsors we need to thank for supporting us throughout the season as well. Simrigs.com, Race Circuit Art Australia, Track Cams for Gourmets, Acuta Industries, Team 126 Racing, of course, AJ Insurance Services. Couldn't do it without them. Of course, we hope the guys over in WA are joining us. It's a bit earlier on in the evening over there, but the guys from RaceKraft Simulations, Johnny and the boys, will be watching, I'm sure. As you can see, a lot of their cars from Premier Racing Team, they support them there, and a couple of other teams out there got the big RaceKraft Simulation signs on the side. So tonight is a little bit different. We haven't done it for quite a few rounds, have we, Dan? As tonight we do have the single lap shootout, and of course our top 10 are about to go at it and see where they find themselves in the qualifying order.
Yeah, qualifying is going to be really interesting tonight. As you say, top 10 qualifying for the guys out there tonight. We saw some fantastic pre-qualifying times for those top 10 out there as well. So it's a very competitive bunch of guys that we're going to see tour around. And they're going to really need to pull out all the stops here because, and we'll touch on a bit later on, but some of the corners around this circuit are going to be very tricky, and grid position is going to be absolutely key around here.
So we're staying with the American theme as well. We've done a few tracks now: Road America, Mid-Ohio, Circuit of the Americas, Daytona, mate. We've been all America, and this is no different. We're coming from North Virginia this time, and short circuit, but a street circuit. So the surface is very different here. And what I do know is you can see it's a little bit patchy. There's quite a lot of bumps in there when you're out racing as well, and quite a fair bit of undulation up and down as you go around the corners.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's a very well-renowned circuit. It's very, very old in circuit terms. It's a very classic style layout with grass out every side, very similar to what we've seen at Mid-Ohio and Circuit of Road America, sorry. But the big things that the guys really need to keep an eye on here is the run into turn one. We're going to see the field really fan out from that starting line as they head down into one. It's a massively tight corner that almost as a 180, it tightens a lot more and opens out a little bit there on exit. And then the run up through the chute in towards the carousel and down around the S's is going to be really, really tricky. We're going to see plenty of two wide action watching the guys work their way through there. But as much as we're going to see that, the big tricky thing is about keeping the power under these cars. They can't excite the tyres. The minute that happens, they're going to spear off. And if we do see them side by side, potential to get into the door of someone else.
There's a couple of little moments in this track for me, and one is when you come out of 9 down the back straight and you head down to the paddock bend, which is the final turn before you head on the main straight. There's a little kink there, and it just crests over a hill. Now, miss that point, don't know it's coming, which all these launch off in the background at the end of practice. But if you don't get that kink right, if you're looking somewhere else, maybe if you're stuck in traffic and you just miss that point, very easy, your wheels are on the grass and you're going to miss that final corner.
Yeah, absolutely. And for a lot of these guys, the last time they probably would have been at this circuit would have been in the MX-5, which is a very slow car by comparison to the supercar that we're here in tonight. So finding that corner apex and getting the lines right around here is going to be crucial, especially for the run down onto the front straight.
All right, so we've had our pre-qualifying for this one, and the top 10 in that, which will come out in a single lap qualifying, will show on screen very shortly, will be Adam Hayne will come out here out of 10th. Jake Maloney will be coming out of 9th for qualifying. Brian Borg, then Sebastian Tixia, Rob Bowden, Todd Hayne, Jordan Ross, Rick Kuznetsov, Andrew Dyson, and of course Corey Shepard will be the last car to do the single lap qualifying. We'll be going through a couple of the cars that are out there now, just getting their single lap in. And if you're new to the format of single lap shootout qualifying, it basically means that we open up this qualifying server and everybody only gets one lap. They'll come on an out lap, they get one flying lap. So you go too far over the limits of the track and get a 0 there, you won't record a time. If you stuff it up and you've got to get back on track, you get a corner wrong, you're stuck with that time in qualifying. So it is a very tricky to do it this way. It's not a top 10 as you would see typically in the supercars where those top 10 will stay in the top 10. Although we are going to show you the 10 fastest in pre-qualifying on their single lap shootout, they make an error, they could end up right down the bottom. So we put the pressure on them, we put them here on the stream, on the broadcast, and we see where they come out at the other end. And sometimes this is some of our faster drivers, you know, a little bit crushed under the pressure, I suppose, and sometimes though they thrive on it. And no surprise to see Corey Shepard there. We don't have a James Scott in the server tonight, which we normally see that rivalry there, but Jordan Ross has been right there with Corey Shepard so far. So Troy Maguire was the 11th quickest in pre-qualifying from memory. So, sorry, Jamie Dyke was in the pre-qualifying, was 11th quickest, so he just missed out to get in that single lap on the broadcast. But as you can see, we're going through some of the cars. So in their system, they do not see the other cars. That is basically what it is. They come out, they do their lap with no other cars on track. We can jump between them here in the broadcast and bring you some of the action. Ken Latter actually up there, second fastest time at the moment. Troy Maguire, the fastest from Fishy Motorsports. So that's where they're coming out. We're just waiting for the times to come through, obviously, on their out laps, and we'll have to wait and see where they all end up. But Dan, it's a tricky at this point, isn't it, where you've got to put it all into one perfect lap.
Well, you do. And I mean, if we think back to some of the past examples of this single lap qualifying format that we've seen before, and probably the one to me that speaks volumes was Long Beach a couple of seasons ago. We had guys that made issues out there, didn't get a good start, had to start their way through the back of the circuit and work their way up, which around a circuit like Long Beach, near on impossible to do, especially with the walls. Here, you probably got a little bit of time to do it, but it also means then you've got a starting point with strategies to make it all work. It's not going to be a fun night for the guys coming through the back of the field.
No, it won't be. And there's a couple of hairy corners if you really want to push your luck. So far, Sebastian Flock has laid down the fastest time in the best of the rest. There's all from 11 upwards in pre-qualifying. A 108.88 is the time. John Parkinson behind that with a 108.91. Ken Latter, who has been improving every week, hasn't he, Dan? Jamie Dyke just jumped up to 108.63, which is a great time around here. Especially what we saw in pre-qualifying. So it's not a bad time to do under the pressure. But yeah, Ken Latter improving every week, Dan. And I don't know, like last week he came 5th. Can he do it this week? Is this the week where he can push his way through and possibly grab that podium?
Well, I mean, he's looking really, really good in this car at the moment. And I think with himself and the guys at DPR, they found a little bit of something that works for all their drivers at the moment. And they're starting to reap the benefits for that. We would expect to see Ken Latter work his way through. He's a very clean, consistent driver, and if all the cards fall into the right positions for him, as they're already starting to do, he's going to be on for a really good showing here.
We can't see too much change up the front. Greg Sharp in the code goes up to P7 at the moment, so sitting in position number 7 with a 109.09. So it's Jamie Dyke with a 108.63, a 108.88 for Sebastian Flock. Then we go back to a 91 for John Parkinson, a 99 for Ken Latter. Also equal on a 99 is Michael Whiting in the Fishy Motorsports entry. Then we go to the 109, starting out of P6, Stephen Kokoschke with a 109.07, a 109.09 for Greg Sharp, as we just saw up on the screen. 109.13. Thomas is a 109.33, and Troy Maguire in 10th position at the moment with a 109.37. So a single lap qualifying broadcast, guys. The ones that were in the top 10 in pre-qualifying have not come out on track yet. We will bring them to you very, very shortly. Adam Hayne will be the first of those cars to go out, and we'll follow him for the entire lap. Just having a look at some of the times a bit further down. Brian Borg get to set a time. Look, and see Kyle Stokes down there as well. Dan, surprised to see him a bit further back. Currently sitting 14th fastest. Damien Johnson, who has not really had some great qualifying recently, has he?
Well, no, and he's had a few issues along the way, and traditionally we've seen for Johnson and especially for Kyle Stokes, those guys be more towards the mid to the pointy end of the field. So something's not really gelling with them at the moment, and we'll see them come through the field, no doubt about that. I mean, they've been very, very good so far. So not where they want to be. They've still got the top 10 guys to come out and have a crack at setting a time as well. So we could see them still move a little bit further up, but it's a tall ask for both of them.
It is Michael Taliancic, though, out on track at the moment, the 777 now. We don't always see him qualify up the front. He's like to start down the back, so he has not set a time. So we'll have to see where that all pans out for him. So we do believe he may have done his laps as well. So we're just waiting for confirmation that that's what we do believe. He has done his laps already. And if he starts at the back, Mickey T, he just is going to blitz through the first half of the pack would be my thoughts. That's normally what he does. He's pretty quick, the old 777. Good to see, yeah, the boys from RaceKraft Simulations, Johnny and the boys have joined us tonight over in Perth. It'll still be sunny over there and beer weather. It's a little bit later here over on the East Coast, but we enjoy our West Aussie counterparts joining us over there who we can't go and visit, Dan. We were hoping maybe we could go to a grand final show over there. They won't let us travel over there.
Well, not yet, but there's always time for that later on as we go, but it would be great to get over there and see how everything's unfolding.
So our first car that will get underway in the top 10, well, we don't single lap shootout. So for the top 10 guys in pre-qualifying, the first guy is going to get a full run here on the broadcast will be Adam Hayne. We're going to see how he goes, because he really does need to. He needs to beat a Jamie Dyke with a 108.63 if he wants to get in front of that, because that's the last thing you want to do is come out, have that pressure, and not actually do one of those top 10 times. So we'll have to wait and see how Jamie Dyke goes in this one. But we're just waiting. Adam Hayne is on track. You see him come here, the Switch Panel Pro on the side. And the two brothers, the Hayne brothers, have got so much faster this season. Now, Todd Hayne has been slightly faster when it comes to the sprint style racing. They've teamed up in the Enduros. They've had some good results. Todd Hayne almost getting on the podium there, but Adam Hayne in the Taipan Esports entry has just been improving ever so slightly each week as well, and I don't reckon it'll be too long before he's riding on the heels of brother Todd Hayne, but he'll be the first one to go around and set his single qualifying lap. All right, flying lap time for Adam Hayne, the Taipan Esports Switch Panel Pro entry. Comes around. Let's have a look as he goes into turn number 1. He's going to be all the way in top gear here, get hard on the brakes. You can see that different surface change there as he tries to pull up under brakes. There he goes, goes up, slides it out slightly over there, just grabs a little bit of dirt with the inside wheel. That's fine. Flies down in this corner too. You can see him. See the sector 1 just having a quick look up there as he goes. He's up by 500s in sector 1 over Jamie Dyke. Can he bring this in? Got to head up, of course. We just grabs a little bit, unsettles the car there. You need to re-establish the car as he goes back around. So we're talking about this little kink. Go up over the 200s faster after sector number 2 now. Get the car, start going through the gears, clicking them up, using that Jinx Shifter to go as he heads down. Braking markers as well, and there we go. P number 2, Adam Hayne there. Goes a 108.65, misses out by 200s over Jamie Dyke from the Fishy Motorsport. So Jamie Dyke gets himself in position for a top 10 start, which is good. So he can't go any further back than row number 5 in this one. It looks like Jake Maloney will the next one to be joining us out on track for his shootout.
And I was going to say to Maloney, we haven't seen a lot throughout the course of this championship, but he is very, very good in these cars, and expect big things from him now with this one. He's just working his way around at the moment, and so far so good as he works his way down in towards the carousel.
Right. The tyres warmed up now. But Maloney, the Trans-Tasman Racing, it's your opportunity. You've got to get that temperature into the tyres, get the car ready. Beautiful scenery, isn't it, Dan, though? It is a gorgeous track.
It is. It's a fantastic venue around here. It reminds me a lot of VIR in the way the circuit flows as we watch Maloney continue on. 2 green sectors for him so far, but we'll see as he gets across the line. 208.63 actually is going to be the kickoff of his run. So it's a good warm-up. He's looking good as he sets out there, braking really, really nicely, using that little bit of an extra lane width there in the road, very similar to what we'd see at the likes of Lime Rock Park. We jump on board up through the S's here, using all the curb. You've got to watch out on the gravel on the outside there, and a big wiggle, which is able to settle down nicely. Yeah, jump over this right-hander through the street. You need to pull this one up, get it around here. If you grab a little bit too much curb, it can unsettle the car and try and flick up.
Nice job front, holds it in tight. Round the big carousel, the right-hander. Accelerate out of here through the S's. And you just got to feather that throttle, don't you? Try applying the acceleration, but not excite the tyres too much. And then it is a run down to the final corner. There's a little kink as you come up to the crest. Times up, Dan. This one's a flyer.
Yeah, it's a great looking lap so far. 2 purple sectors. Let's see what he's able to do as he gets across the line. And it was purple again. 2:08.2. That's a cracking lap. 2/10 or 6/10 quicker than the guys behind him. So provisional pole at the moment for Maloney. Brian Borg now to get out on circuit to have a go.
It's a quick time from Jake Maloney too. Even what we saw in pre-qualifying, that'd have to be in the top 3. So that is quick. Brian Borg. And he's got RaceKraft Simulations on the side, of course. He's got Isuzu behind him. He's been around. He needs to get himself up the front. He's a very good defensive driver, and we can see him get a little bit faster when it comes to the qualifying times. Imagine what we can see him at the end. He's had a few podiums this season as well, and you never know where Brian Borg will end up. Currently sitting 4th in the championship. He's joined up in the endurance with Shepard, where he's had a fair bit of success. Of course, the Barcelona, he did give himself a win there, a single driver win, and he's been 3rd there with the Melbourne ring. So we'll, you know, it's all come down to some of the experience, I suppose. When it comes, he's on his outlap though. He's about to get underway with his flying lap, not too far away from Brian Borg. Let's see where he ends up. Look, the team from Premier Racing Team, they've definitely got something going on at the moment. Something in the water down there. They've got Rick Kuznetsov on board, Sebastian Tixia, all of them very impressive in recent times.
Well, they have been. I think for the whole team there, they've really lifted and are setting some great camaraderie within the team. And whatever they're doing is really paying dividends at the moment. Shepard, we've seen him over the past few seasons be a very strong competitor to the likes of James Scott. Doesn't have that extra pressure on so much this season, but is making the most of it while he's got the free rein.
All right. He's down by 1/10 in Sector 1, just missing out. He's got to get a bit of a move on here, Brian Borg. A little bit of slide in the car there as he heads around the carousel. Down through the S's. We'll see the second sector pop up very shortly. Just having a look up on our screens to see where he ends up with that one. He's got to beat a 1:08.27 set by Jake Maloney if he wants to top the charts. Time in Sector 2. Todd going to miss out on P1 at this point, but he might beat a 63 from Jamie Dyke, and it looks like we've got a bit of competition going on the YouTube chat too. There's a 1:08.65. He'll go back to 4th position. That final sector was not good for Brian Borg, so he's going to come in behind Adam Hayne, Jamie Dyke in front of him, and Jake Maloney. But we've got our own little race going on the YouTube channel, and it seems to be the G27s. We're going to see who's the fastest with the G27 steering wheel set.
And that's a good wheel too. I mean, I remember where I started back on the 25, the 27, not a bad bit of kit either. And especially with those pedals, you do the old little pencil eraser trick into them, 20 cent, a 10 cent coin, makes a big difference. But having a look here at Sebastian Tixia now, getting underway with his lap. It was a nice solid exit for him. Let's have a look how he gets his car settled in down into the hairpin, brakes it in nice and hard. And not a lock of the wheel there. That's a great looking car there. A little bit of wobble as he gets out on the power there. Not probably the cleanest we've seen so far compared to the likes of Jake Maloney, but he has kept it on the straight and narrow up through the little kink here. Runs it out there, and again, another big wiggle from the car. It's not liking this quick circuit at the moment.
Well, he's got to get used to the big, heavy supercar, aren't they? They're not as easy as the old GT3s with the traction control and things like that and all-wheel drive. So he's got to, Tixia though, he has been improving the car. He's really been doing lots of practice when it comes to supercar racing. Last time out at Road America, he did end up in 6th position in the solo race. He's had a 3rd this season when he's teamed up with Rick Kuznetsov as well. Not quite there though in Sector 1. He's a couple of tenths behind where he needs to be. Remember, he's got to beat a 1:08.27 if he wants to top the charts. Jamie Dyke, who started outside the 10 after pre-qualifying, is P2 at the moment with a 1:08.63. So there is a fair disparity between the two, and he crosses the line of 1:08.60. He's only in front of Jamie Dyke, but the final sector really there, Dan, is where he's made up that time.
Yeah, and that was a good run in that that final sector there, right on pace with the likes of Jake Maloney, only a 1/10 of a second down. So he's definitely got the car looking good in that later half, and that could have been all to do with the tyres coming into their zone as he pressed on, because it did look like quite a handful at the early stage.
Well, Rob Bowden, I don't know how he's got time to be in the chat, because he's out there about to be doing his single lap shootout qualifying, and he is our fourth car to come out. No, our fifth car to come out, sorry, Rob Bowden, our fifth car. And so far, only 2 cars have beat Jamie Dyke, who were outside the 10 in the pre-qualifying session there as he slides the car. He uses all of the road, just goes over the curb. Now, you can't go out too far, because if you go to past the outer limits of the track and get a 0 on this qualifying, that's it. You end up down the back, and you do not want that to happen. Here we go. He goes into turn number 1. Looks like he's about to start his flying lap 2. Slides the car a little bit there. Doesn't quite get the drive he probably wanted out of that one. We'll wait to see him come around here. The kink left before we head up. The wagon corner. The wagon bend, I should say, as he heads up towards the chute. Quick left-hander, tight left-hander here, and you don't get much room if you go out too wide. Get the car on 2 wheels easily at that point. He goes around the carousel, but he's about 3/10 down to where he needs to be, and the problem is he's going to put himself back in. If he gets back in those 108.60s, there's 4 other cars with a 108.60 there, and he could find himself in the middle of a very pack of races, I should say, which will make it hard at the start of the race when you're fighting for position.
It will do, but we know Rob is a consummate professional there, and he does a very good job of working his way through. Just as he gets across the line there, purple sector to conclude that lap. That was a great time for him, a 2:08.6 dead, and he was the quickest guy through that final sector, which tells you a lot. He brought that car back a long way. He was down nearly 4/10 in the opening 2 sectors, so that was a great effort for him.
There we go, Todd Hayne. His brother's already been out. He ended up in 5th position there. The Taipan Esports getting represented by the Hayne train, the 2 boys. And here we go. Todd has been reasonably quick of late, actually. He's been a real big improver when it comes to AOSC11, all thanks to Jinx Shifters and RaceKraft Simulations. And we'll wait to see how he goes. The limits of this car. And he's had a little bit of success as well. He just missed out on a podium back in the Barcelona historic round number 7 there. So we're now round number 13, heading towards the end of season number 11 for the Switch Panel Pro car. We'll have to wait and see how Todd Hayne goes. See green sector up there. He's not quite fast enough to grab a purple sector in the first one. Very far off now though, so he's only 0.06 of a second off that fastest time now. A big difference, like we say, there's 0.3 of a second. That's going to hurt his nose. He drops the wheel out on the dirt. So Todd starts to head down.
And that was an aborted lap. Didn't count as he got across the line there. So that's a first of our guys up in the pointy end, not to make their lap count. That's going to put him well down the order now.
Makes it very hard on this style of track too to go through. Jordan Ross, all right now, Jordan Ross has had a great second half of the season, I should say. It was rocky to start with. He definitely has been finding some areas of improvement to get underway with the Synergy Sim Racing car, and he has been making those improvements each and every week. So Jordan Ross, you can see up on screen, and he, since round number 8, it's just been podium after podium after podium. So you'll have to see how he goes in this qualifying session as we get started with the lap, and we'll find out. Let's have a look how the car handles going into turn number 1. You can see the attitude there, gets right on the left-hand side. Doesn't pinch the bro. There you go, pinches the brake. You see a little bit of a straighten up there from him. Really pushing hard to that final braking marker into turn number 1. But it's every 100th of a second if he wants to catch up to Jake Maloney from the Trans-Tasman Racing Team.
Yeah, and that little bit of a lock up there, that will really, really hurt as they press on. But it's a good start to the lap here. We'll just keep an eye as he works his way through. It's a green sector 1, a couple of tenths of a second off the pace there. So that did hurt him just fractionally here, but the car looks good getting out of the little carousel there and able to apply plenty of pressure using all the curb and then some. The car looks pretty stable at this point, Matt.
Look, he was 4th fastest in pre-qualifying. It's look, he's pushing the car. He is pushing the limits. He is not worried about having a null and void lap because it will win it. 600's off in sector 2. He almost got there. As he go down to the final moments in this lap, goes across the line, and where do we end up with this one? Jordan Ross, P2, a 108.48, splits them between 1 and 3. So Jake Maloney will still stay P1 there with 108.27, meaning he will, the furthest he can go back now with 3 cars left to run in the single lap shootout means he can only go back to row number 2, Jake Maloney. So that's a great improvement considering he started out of position number 9 after pre-qualifying. So a big improvement from him, and that'll really put him in contention for a great start. Rick Kuznetsov has been ultra fast of late and been right behind his teammate Corey Shepard, learning a lot. The improvement of this young kid has been phenomenal over season number 11. Can't wait to see how he goes. Grabs a fair bit of curve there, though. Doesn't seem to unsettle the car too much. Looks like they've got the setup just right. Of course, this is the outlap at the moment. Trying to get some temperature, just push those limits. So it's a good chance, I suppose, to see the final. I'd be pretty happy down with this outlap, though. Like, you know, with my skills, this would be good enough for me.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's a good warm-up to get going. The exit through that final corner was superb there. He's able to carry a huge amount of momentum into the brake zone. The car looks very, very good there. Rides that little bit of a transition in the road there beautifully, and awesome power pickup as he gets set to go up through that little kink, up through Wagon Bend. See if the wheels will stay on his wagon as he gets through here. And a little bit of curb there, not too bad. Just kept that out of the gravel there as well, up towards the carousel. This will be the next big tricky one. The car looks awesome as it floats its way through. He's a couple of tenths of a second down here at the moment, but not that far behind when we look at where the time has been made so far.
Goes around the carousel, though. He'll start to push the car now. The 08, what can Kuznetsov do? He's been alongside his teammate Corey Shepard last time out. On the front row of the grid, can the Premier Racing team lock out that front row once again? He's currently sitting 5th in the chip. Watch out, Purple Simon, second number 2. He's just in front. Can he top the charts here over Jake Maloney from Trans-Tasman Racing? Coming through, just misses out. Just under 0.02 of a second. It's 0.019 the difference there, and he is P number 2, which means he will start out of row number 2 at the worst case scenario. You never know. Next up, though, Andrew Dyson, who was second fastest in our pre-qualifying. Dyson is back and ready to get things underway. He's had an unlucky season. We've had he's had power dropouts. What else has gone wrong for Dyson this year? I mean, He's been a little bit too preoccupied, I think, with the Phoenix Smokers getting the meat smoked up. So hasn't been on the front row of the grid in season 11 either. So or ever, really, from memory, I can't remember Dyson being on the front row, Dan. So he'll be looking to see if he can make it happen.
No, it hasn't been on there, but I think the list of things that haven't gone wrong might be a little bit of a smaller one to work out for poor old Dyson this season. He's not really had the best of luck after what we saw at Chicago last season, where he picked up his maiden victory in the AOSC, but he's looking pretty good. The car's a bit ragged and a bit of a handful to get through the curve there. Not sure whether he's going to pick up an off track as a result of that. I think he's kept it on the green stuff, a little bit down, 0.02 of a second behind. We'll see what he's able to do, though, but that was a bit of a wild ride for him there.
He's going to put the foot down because Corey Shepard's still to come, and he's been ultra fast this season, Corey Shepard, but consistent as well every track he goes to, and he's only missed out on a podium 2 of the races he showed up to this year where he came in 4th place, and they've been in the endurance racing. So Corey Shepard really is going to be second 2 is done good for him. Second 1 in the moment there. Line, and he goes up to position number 1 there, a 108.18. Just squeezes out Jake Maloney for position number 1, which means we will see Dyson on the front row for the first time in AOSC, all thanks to Jinx Shifters. We're good to see Dyson on the front row. Of course, his teammate Adam Briggs a little bit further down. Where he wants to be. We'll have to wait and see. 7 poles this season for Corey Shepard, the Mr. Antenna Mustang from Premier Racing Team. He's definitely got in the right team there with people like Brian Borg, giving that experience. He's got a great teammate in Rick Kuznetsov, who's currently sitting in 3rd position in qualifying so far, that really starting to push this young man. He was, well, really, he followed James Scott around in season number 10 and just couldn't get it done. James Scott with the more experience there, but it has taught him so much, and he's brought that into season number 11, and the dominance that he's had. We're looking at 4 race wins so far out of 12 rounds. Twice he's come second, 3 times he's come third. What will happen tonight? Well, let's see if the Mr. Antenna Mustang can get it up and get on that front row tonight again.
And so far, it's purple sector 1 for him. So he is getting on with business. We saw in the pre-qualifying time, it was a 108 dead for him. So he's not got much left on the cards if he wants to be able to pull that off after the time that Andrew Dyson set. But so far, so good. We'll wait to see as he gets up through sector 2. We're going to see that momentarily flash up on the screen. And it's another purple sector 2. Oh, 0.4 of a second quicker. He is flying.
Will we see a 107 is the question. We did hear from a couple of other people they cracked a 107 earlier today, so we'll have to wait and see as he goes. It's going to be 108.01, 108.09 to be exact. That is almost identical to his best qualifying time in pre-qualifying. That means Corey Shepard goes P1. He'll lock out the front row of the grid with Andrew Dyson. This one's going to be on Jake Maloney and Rick Kuznetsov from row 2. Jordan Ross, Sebastian Tixia, row 3. Rob Bowden and Jamie Dyke will be 7-8 on row 4. How good is that for Jamie Dyke, Dan? That even though, and this is the thing, isn't it, with pre-qualifying, it's great if you can get in the top 10 and you get to see your whole lap broadcast for all your sponsors. But Jamie Dyke and the Fishing Motorsports ends up being on row number 4.
Yeah, that's a really good result for the Fishing Motorsports guys to be that far up the field. I mean, it's, you know, as they've progressed on, they've found what they need with the car. They're right there to pick up the spoils should anything happen on this opening exchange as we take to the green.
And we've turned things around here. Adam Hayne in the top 10 and Brian Borg will be there on row number 5. But it's Todd Hayne pushed it in the Taipan Esports entry, ended up aborting the qualifying lap a little bit early there. It went to the outer limits of the track, did not record a time. And so Todd Hayne will start off the back row of the grid alongside Michael Talianchich. Now, good opportunity maybe there. We know Mickey T likes to start at the back, and he normally grabs, you know, at least 20 positions normally when he starts off the back row of the grid. So Todd Hayne might have someone he can team up with and actually get these maneuvers done.
Well, potentially. I'd love to see Michael put in a solid qualifying stint because we know he's very good at getting through the field. We've seen it time and time again. And I don't know whether he's just doing it for a bit of fun there because he loves getting through on the passes, but I'd love to see him a little further up the field. Todd is going to be really pushing to go through, and I think having the likes of Michael Talianchich around him, as you were saying, is going to help. You know, opens the door, lets him follow through, artificially going to help him lift up through the field there.
All right, we're here from Summit Point, so West Virginia, all thanks to Jinx Shifters and RaceKraft Simulations, AOSC11, of course, race 204. But in season 11 is round 13. We are coming to the last quarter of season number 11. We've got 47 laps tonight because it is only 3.19 kilometres. It is one of the shortest tracks we've done this season. So 47 laps, 2 compulsory pit stops. You only get 1 fast repair. Normally in the sprint races, that's all you need. But the 2 compulsory pit stops, Dan, this is where we're seeing guys lose a race or end up mid-pack because if they don't get that compulsory pit stop right, they can either come out in clean air or they come out in a bunch of cars and they can wreak havoc, I suppose, with each other, whether they make contact. And that's where it's going to be at tonight. We'll see how they go. Having a look up there, though, you can see where they have ended up qualifying. Corey Shepard and Andrew Dyson on the front row. Jake Maloney, Rick Kuznetsov in row 2. Jordan Ross, Sebastian Tixia, row 3. Rob Bowden and Jamie Dyke in row 4. Adam Hayne and Brian Borg in row 5. Now, Adam Hayne getting in the top 10 there. That's good. Sebastian Flock and John Parkinson in row number 6. Then we go back to row number 7, which is going to be Ken Latta and Michael Whiting. And surprisingly, Ken Latta just a little bit slower tonight. We'll see how he goes. Michael Whiting had a good showing last week as well, so look for him to move through the pack. Stephen Kokoschke and Greg Sharp in row number 8. Great effort there from Kokoschke. Matthew Brunt and Dylan Thomas will be in row number 9. Then we go to Troy Maguire and Chris Barnes in row 10. Dave Coleman, Alex Newton in row 11. Damien Johnson a lot further back and his qualifying hasn't really shown his true pace recently, with Kyle Stokes alongside another one really who we expect to see further up. Tyson McAvoy is in position number 25. Then we'll have Michael Taliantich and Todd Hayne, obviously out of 26 and 27, because our safety car will end up waiting in the lane just in case we see it today. And Dan, are we going to see it? Is the AOSC safety car coming out?
I'm going to say yes. As much as I don't want to see it there, I think it will be at least once.
I think with the racing surface and the way the corners are, we're going to see a couple of dives coming down, and it's going to be some hairy moments with a lot of grass on the side. Very easy there to get the car sideways, and if they're in a bunch, it's going to cause a lot of havoc. See Corey Shepard getting it up on the limiter there, just making sure everything's warmed up and ready to go for this race. It is round number 13 at Summit Point. We are good to go at AOSC11, waiting for the lights to come up. All thanks to Jinx Shifters. It's Corey Shepard, Andrew Dyson locking out the front row. How will Dyson go? He started the season strong. It's been a shocker for him mid-season though. The lights are up. We're waiting for him to go out. And we're underway. Nice start from Shepard there. And you have a look at Jake Maloney. Gets alongside Dyson very quickly. That looks like in the background Ken Latta trying to push his way through, who's had some good results as well. Oh, Dyson pushed to the outside in turn number 1 as well. Kuznetsov on the background, and Todd Hayne looks like contact.
Yeah, one of the Fishing Motorsports cars involved in that. David Coleman finding his way into the fence early on there also, so that's not great down the back of the field.
Oh, Jordan White's now out of the pack. Tixie are going to dive down in, following Kuznetsov. So the Premier Racing team are trying to get in there. Jordan Ross holds him out. He's been super defensive lately. Jamie Dyke in the 080, you can just see him back there at the moment. And Dyke is sitting in position number 9. Borg in 10. Nice start, though, from Jake Maloney. Unfortunately, it looks like Dyson's got that position back from him, gone back into pin number 2. So he held on the outside there, and that was good work there from Dyson to take that risk. Rob Bowden settled in now to position number 7 with Adam Hayne just behind. Sebastian Tixie pushing on as well. He's trying to make those positions up, but as we start to settle, starting just to gap themselves a little bit between each car, and we can see that settle down to single file now. Still in the background, though, I need to apologise. That looks like that is Sebastian Flock there. Like earlier, it was Dave Coleman, but Flock just looking for a moment there, and no surprise, Damien Johnson.
Well, Johnson, I was just going to say, Johnson and Stokes have been big beneficiaries of the start and opening lap run through. Stokes now up 7 positions, just putting the move on his teammate there. Damien Johnson up 5 positions as well. Those guys are looking pretty racy at the moment as well. Taliantich and Hayne have also gained quite a few spots there, as Greg Sharp just has a big moment and run wide. We'll come back to that one, but as we have a look here at the start, let's have a look at how this unfolded. And it's Hayne just moving sideways into the back of David Coleman there. And that's definitely going to catch the attention of race control.
Yeah, Michael Taliantich has to go around the outside, so going to make it hard for him as well. So not a great start from Todd Hayne, and it all started with that single lap qualifying shootout, and that's where you've got to have that, I suppose, pinpoint accuracy to do that qualifying lap again and again and again and again. As you can see, the JK Science cars moving down. He's just on the back of Matthew Brunt now. So moving up very quickly, Kyle Stokes has already made short change of Greg Sharp, Nakota Simsport entry.
Yeah, and we saw Greg just have that moment through the gravel trap just prior to cutting back to the start of the replay there. But he'll settle himself down. Now, I have noticed too, quite a few guys already come in the lane to serve the first of the 2 compulsory stops that we have here tonight. David Coleman has come through. Dylan Thomas, Tyson McAvoy, Troy Maguire and Steve Kokoschke have all come through the lane.
All right, let's have a bit of a replay here now. It looks like Stokes down the inside there of Brunt, and Johnson in the back.
Well, actually, it's Greg Sharp there. It just catches that rear fender. Oh, and some traffic jam, just for good measure.
Oh, Mickey T caught up in that one as well at the back. So not having a good night off the rear, and Greg Sharp decides to, well, 747 is the number. Maybe he's just trying to make flight there with that jump.
Yep. I'll give you that. We'll it's the first of the bad ones for the night, but no, that is going to hurt Greg, and we'll see him drop into the lane to get that car back underway. Ken Latta now dropping in to complete the first of his stops as well, so this is going to see him drop a little further down. As we have a look back at the front though, with Jordan Ross, Rick Kuznetsov, and Jake Maloney all having a scrap now over 3rd position.
It looks like Rick Kuznetsov might have a little bit more pace in some areas of this track than Jake Maloney. He just doesn't quite have it. They can't make it right. And Jordan Ross is just waiting for that moment, maybe get a 2-for-1 deal. You just never know with Jordan Ross.
Well, no, you don't. But we know that Jordan knows how to position a car beautifully around here, around these circuits to gain those spots. He's right on board here. He's just pressuring the rear bumper there of Rick, who in turn is using that little bit of curve trying to get in the mind now of Jake, which is not going to be an easy task for him. But it's all going to come to how do they get through this final corner here. You can already see that.
Jake Maloney, a couple of corners there, the car just looked a little bit looser than Kuznetsov. Managed to get that. It really, as they come down for the run down here, they're going to try and grab some drafting there. Don't know if much is going to happen. I notice Brian Borg in the background has made a position up over Jamie Dyke, the Fisher Motorsport entry as well. So Jamie Dyke's now dropped back a couple of positions, probably not the start he wanted. He'll get on with racing. We'll see how he goes in the other laps of this race. Of course, we now going through, we've completed 4 laps of this race. We're on lap number 5 at the moment. Corey Shepard has run away with a little bit of a lead at the moment there. Got himself a nice little lead over Andrew Dyson, and then it's really on for 3rd position now at the moment. You're on board on the back of Jake Maloney's car from Trans-Tasman Racing. Rick Kuznetsov and Jordan Ross there. They want to get in that podium position. I know it's early parts of the race, but position is key. Track position is key. Now, will they come in? You've got 2 compulsory pit stops, so really you can take one quite early. Try and run it out in the middle and then go in. And if you want to grab tyres, maybe you can, maybe you can't. We can see with these sprint races, though, that a lot of the time the guys might only grab tyres on 1 pit stop. We have seen when they haven't grabbed any, they'll just get up and get a bit of fuel. So we'll wait and see. So you see Jordan Ross gets right under the rear wing, get a bit of draft of Kuznetsov, puts the nose down the inside into turn number 1, pulls the car up there. Kuznetsov on the outside. Lights the tyres up for Ross, and that'll give Kuznetsov the advantage to drive around the outside. But in the meantime, Jake Maloney leads away a little bit. You can see that open up to 0.6 of a second there for Jake Maloney. And that's he's got to be a little bit, breathe a bit of sigh of relief at the moment. Kuznetsov gets a little bit defensive there on Jordan Ross. You can see him come down the inside line. Ross just thrown off a little bit by that turn 1 where he tried to make that move done. Just needs to settle himself back down, get back under the rear wing of Kuznetsov. They need to work together to catch back up to Jake Maloney. So Corey Shepard out in front. He's got a nice little gap as he goes around the final corner. About to complete this lap with Andrew Dyson on the heels. Dyson will be looking at the back of his car, but really you can see him just out in front. Maloney now has a little bit of a gap. And Kuznetsov is going to have to be wary of Jordan Ross. Last time around, he was close enough. He could take a bit of a dive down here. He's not going to be close enough to do it this time. And we'll just watch that gap between Kuznetsov and Maloney and see if he's starting to reel them in. Adam Hayne doing a nice job here, up 2 positions in the Taipan Esports entry. And he is in position number 7 after starting out of 9. Trying to just stay out of a bit of trouble there, I think. And after the start of the race, Todd Hayne, who we spoke about earlier, up 15 positions now to position number 13. So he hasn't done a pit stop, which a few of the cars have, but that first, or the start of the race where he made contact there with Dave Coleman and all that incident that unfolded there, and now he's made up 15 positions, Todd Hayne. So the safety car would probably do him well now. I bet he's probably hoping for one, get his first stop run and done, and maybe hold on that position he is. The Switch Panel Pro on the side of the Taipan Esports cars. Adam Hayne on screen now, and he's following down Sebastian Tixier, the Premier Racing Team entry. Tixier, another one who's just been improving this season, I think, teaming up with Premier Racing Team, an international star in his own right, getting behind the supercars, one of the most difficult cars to get around in iRacing or in general racing, big heavy cars, and they like to move around a lot, not so friendly under brakes. And Tixier at the moment he's down in 17th in our championship at the moment. We did see him grab a 3rd place in Circuit of the Americas when he teamed up with Rick Kuznetsov. Here we go, a move coming on from Kyle Stokes. Can he get past Ken Latta? Going down the main straight into turn number 1. See them get under brakes. Pulls up, we've seen the move done, gets it done, gets past him. That's very important. So go out wide. The crisscross now. Ladder down the inside. Can he get the drive? It's a little bit dirty on the inside of the corner. And just behind me, you can see Michael Whiting thinking, maybe, just maybe I can follow him. The ladder shuts the door. Whiting will have to slot him behind and will not get a position in this one. He's in 19th position. He's down 5. The Fishy Motorsport entry just has a look down the inside. Can't make it happen on ladder. He wasn't ready for that move. Kyle Stokes grabs himself another position, and he is up 7 positions, which is impressive because Kyle Stokes also, I'm just trying to see if he has done one of his pit stops. I think he has. So he's actually done a pit stop. So that's impressive to be up 7 positions, has completed one of his 2 compulsory pit stops. So we'll have to watch him throughout the race because the safety car comes out, could really play into his race strategy for this one tonight. Just in front, the next person he's looking at, Dave Coleman, in the distance. Go back to Adam Hayne, just lose the position to Rob Bowden. There goes wide, and once you get on the gravel, lose another one. Brian Borg will go by as well, and he just needs to settle the car back down. He did really well that the car didn't get too sideways there and try and unload the car and switch back and get it sideways, and you would have lost a heap of positions after that. Jamie Dyke now just looking at the rear wing of Adam Hayne, but Hayne's probably got this pace in the car to settle that back down and maybe give Brian Borg a bit of a run for his money, maybe gain a position back. The experience of Rob Bowden and Brian Borg is so high. Corey Shepard is our leader of the race, so now in lap number 10. So we completed 9 laps. We've just moved on to lap number 10. That is turn number 1. Bowden just has a little bit of a look. A bit of a weave there from Tixia. So Bowden just getting a bit of fresh air there. He's going to have to watch out. Brian Borg just behind him. Adam Hayne, Jamie Dyke, Sebastian Flock now on the back of this little pack. So it's really Rob Bowden in position 7, back to Sebastian Flock in position number 11. Adam Hayne just hangs the rear end out. So does Flock. Jamie Dyke. Oh no, look at him on the brake. Sideways, holds on to it. Dyke slides. It's a fishy into this corner. Gets it nicely under control though, right back on the back of Adam Hayne now. And it's going to give Rob Bowden and Brian Borg a little bit of a chance just to maybe open up a gap. I suppose there's a safety gap there, you know. They're not going to get enough run on you coming down the main straight while that gap's there. And as we see him go down, Jamie Dyke now, can he get a move done on Adam Hayne? I know he wants to. His qualifying was phenomenal there. He held on. Started out of position number 8 after pre-qualifying back in about position number 13. So Jamie Dyke having a good night if he can just get those positions back. He was impressive a couple of weeks ago, Jamie Dyke. He came through the field there. And managed to get himself up into the top 10. So yeah, it was 2 rounds ago. He got 5th position, Jamie Dyke. So we'll see what Fisher Motorsports entry will do. Just come over this crest, you can see him almost slide the cars in. Bowden under brakes. Just shows the nose a little bit there for Brian Borg and the side mirror there for Bowden. He'll be having a look. Borg using all the tricks of the trade there to apply that pressure. Bowden lights the tyres up a little bit, slides the car just a fraction. Tell you what, the Premier Racing Team cars are looking very stable, glued to the ground at the moment, which is a good sign for them. No surprise, Corey Shepard streaked away at the moment with a lead, 1.36 seconds. Gone out to 1.4 now, so 1.4 seconds there, the lead. Here we go. Brian Borg tries to stay in the draft there of Rob Bowden. Doesn't let him go. Bowden trying to shake him. Try and upset that air. Not going to happen. Flock now on the back of Jamie Dyke there in position number 11. Gets right up in the back into turn number 1, but doesn't look like he's going to be close enough to try and take that position though. Jamie Dyke, the Fisher Motorsports entry, will hold on to pin number 10. Just kicking up the dirt there as they go by. You can see it getting thrown up onto the track. That'll be fun for a few drivers as they come round. Trying to have a look. That's Stephen Koskinen in the background and not having a great night tonight. He has lost 11 positions there after being caught up in some incidents, and now he's ended up being lapped by the field. Let's have a look off tracks here. Rob Bowden's off. Brian Borg's off. They're out in the dirt. Who is it? Have they gone through? Is that... That's Tixia off as well, and Kokoschki is involved again from 851. So Brian Borg is and Bowden in the pits. So maybe that's damage, or maybe they're just deciding they're going to get on with it. But Sebastian, yeah, a lot of damage. Kokoschki pushing as we go to a replay here. Let me look in the background there. Well, that's a replay we can see Kuznetsov. Oh no, it's Maloney who started, got out sideways. Kuznetsov makes contact. Jordan Ross is there. Trying to join the race. Maloney there, stays on the inside. Borg goes round, under brakes Adam Hayne on the outside. Oh no, Borg's into the lane, so he's got out of this one. Maloney stayed out. We stay with this replay. Hopefully Jamie Dyke gets through. Got to upset the car there with the rear wing missing. Dyke comes down the inside here on the replay, and the turn number 1 on Maloney doesn't get the move done. Just trying to see where else we've seen some. Oh, Maloney sideways again there. The car is really unstable. We might go back and have a look at Tixie. It's a separate replay there. Something different has happened to him. Oh, they're trying to go around Kokoschki, who's trying to reverse out of wherever he has ended up. Rob Bowden's got caught up in that one. So the beneficiary out of that one really is Brian Borg, who's made his way through unscathed by the looks of it. But his teammate, Sebastian Tixia from Premier Racing Team, that is not good news for him. You can see the battle wounds down the side. That is a fast repair, I would say, for Tixia in the pits, and he will be upset about that one. In the meantime, though, it means that Adam Hayne goes up 4 positions from where he started, now in position number 5, so he gets those couple he lost back. Jamie Dyke now up to position number 6, so up 4 positions where he was a couple of laps. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. There we go. There, Jamie Dyke's ended up in position number 6 now, and just got Adam Hayne in front of him. He's going to have to watch out. Sebastian Flock made it through all right, but alone in the background, he needs to get that car in. Something is not right. It is loose. It is very loose in the rear of that car. It looks very hard to handle. Every time he tries to accelerate over the corner, it just wants to step sideways. Got to be hurting him in the times, and he was right there, especially after that impressive qualifying time there for Jake Maloney. Started off in the second row of the grid. Coming in the pits, though, Todd Hayne in the pits, and wasn't he doing fantastic before? He was up 18 positions there. He's going to lose a few in this pit stop, though, as he starts to head out. Also in the pits, Troy Maguire from the Fishy Motorsports entering the pits as well. So just having a look at who has taken multiple pits. Still a few people haven't on our timing screens there. John Parkinson hasn't been in the pits yet. Jake Maloney, Block, Jamie Dyke, Adam Hayne, Jordan Ross, Rick Kuznetsov, Andrew Dyson, Corey Shepard. So our top 9 have not done a pit stop to this point, with 14 laps completed there. Is down the inside, that is one of the Hayne brothers there. Looks like that might be Todd Hayne rejoining us in the race. So he comes back out in 17th position. So not too bad considering he started off the last row of the grid. Corey Shepard into the pits, our race leader. Andrew Dyson will take the lead over. He stayed out. Kuznetsov stays out as well. Jordan Ross will do another lap. We'll have to wait and see how much they're willing to do. Adam Hayne looks like he's coming in the pits. John Parkinson's in the pits as well. So there we go. It's now our top 5 have not made a run through the pits. So the top 5 are the only that have not gone through the pit lane. It's waiting for Corey Shepard, has got out, and he is back on track, and he's in front of his teammate Brian Borg. Up on screen though at the moment you see Rob Bowden chasing Matt Brunt just in front of him. We've got to have a look at this though. Brian Borg has gone through. That early pit stop for Brian Borg and making it through that incident. Well, here we go. Bowden under brakes down the inside of Brunt. And I believe that might be Flock rejoining us, just coming out of the pits possibly. And he's down the inside as well. They're going to go too wide here as they go to the wagon bend. Flock's going to have to give that position back to Brunt. And they'll get through there, and you can see Maloney, though, he's got Corey Shepard. Now, Shepard needs to be wary of this one because Maloney has had this car sideways. It's been very, very unstable. Last thing he wants to do is get involved in a race incident from being too close to this one. Corey Shepard will definitely have the pace. And he'll take this position back there. So Corey Shepard up to P2 with Andrew Dyson not pitting yet. So Andrew Dyson hasn't pitted yet. Jake Maloney hasn't pitted either. But Corey Shepard getting that one back now to turn number 1. Don't think the crisscross will be on for Jake Maloney on this one. The car doesn't seem to have the drive that he needs to make that happen. Brian Borg goes by and just having a look where he's ended up now with all the pit stops there. Back in position number 6 as he just gets past Jamie Dyke, who was coming out of pit lane there. So Brian Borg gets himself a position. Further down the field, Michael Whiting just in the back of this one. He needs to watch out because Adam Hayne's just behind him. The Taipan Esports entries lost a couple of positions in that pit stop. Might have just had it up on stands for a little bit too long. And this is the pit stop strategy you can choose to take in this one. Do you need to take those tyres? It doubles your stationary time there. And we have seen some of them take tyres in the first pit stop when it comes to these sprint races with the compulsory 2 pit stops. And then they don't take tyres in the second. Oh no, sideways. Who is that? I'm just having a look who that's going back to the field. It looks like it might be a Fishy Motorsports car. Dave Coleman there. I think this is Dave Coleman. We'll check out a bit of a replay here. It's Dave Coleman, definitely Whiting behind. Does he just unstick himself there? Grabs a bit of grass, maybe under brakes. Waiting for him to come round. Hayne, oh yeah, it's just himself. Gets it. It's really at that point too. When you come over the corner, you put the accelerator down too much, and it lights the tyres up and gets the car sideways. How lucky were we for Whiting and Adam Hayne not to make contact as we went through what happened there with Coleman. Now we see Flock down the inside of Brunt. He's going to get him going to turn number 1. Under brakes. And just in the background too, John Parkinson looking for an opportunity to make that happen as well. Michael Whiting sideways. Was there contact? Oh, he holds on to it. Andrew Dyson was leading our race. He's now in the pits. Let's see where he ends up. He was behind Corey Shepard. That's his position where he was before Shepard went into the pits. So Andrew Dyson in the pits now. He see where he comes out in this one. Ross in front of Kuznetsov. This is for position number 4. Jake Maloney still in P3 after the pit stops. Shepard back in front, Andrew Dyson behind. So Corey Shepard leads the race once again. Jake Maloney goes by. So Andrew Dyson managing to lose the position there. That's not what he would have wanted to see. Remember, Jake Maloney, the crisscross there, and Shepard, Jordan Ross has to get defensive there, and Kuznetsov. Tell you what, the Premier Racing Team cars just look so stable out there at the moment. Whatever they are doing was set up in these cars, it's just working. It doesn't matter which track they go to, they are just seeming to get it right. I think they've got the right combination of technical guys with the experience to understand the input from the drivers of what the cars are doing, and alongside that they've got some really good young talent that can adapt. So if the experienced guys can get the setup right, this real young talent can just take it to that next level, and that's what we see with the Premier Racing Team with Corey Shepard and Rick Kuznetsov there. Jordan Ross, though, the experience, gets the elbows out, makes sure he gets a little bit defensive there, and he said it last week, he's happy to do it. That's what it means to keep a position. Using all of the curbs, so in the background, Adam Hayne, the Taipan Esports entry, position number 11 now after the pit stops. He's got Michael Whiting in the Fishy Motorsports car in front. Then it's up to Ken Latta in the Alco Holder DPR entry. And Kyle Stokes, you just saw out in front of the pack of 4. Jordan Ross down the inside in the turn 1. He blocks him there. The crisscross over for Kuznetsov. The drive out of turn number 2 as they head down to Wagon Bend. They're side by side. It's a left-hander though. Jordan Ross will get a run. Nudges him out. Gives him enough racing room there. Here you go. Kuznetsov has to get him behind him so he doesn't go out on the dirt. Just giving him enough of just pushing him out wide enough where Kuznetsov knows it's better to probably just back out of that move than it is to get run off the track or end up with dirt under the tyres where the car can get really, really loose and have another go at it. Kuznetsov looking like he does have the pace to get this manoeuvre done, but Jordan Ross just making it very, very difficult. He's really making that car right there because Kuznetsov needs to find a way past. Corey Shepard completes another lap. Jake Maloney in second position, but Maloney has not done a pit stop. The only car in our field that has not travelled the pit lane is Jake Maloney in the Trans-Tasman Racing car in position number 2. on the brakes there. They're pulling him up. You hear the tap of the limiter there, and Jordan Ross not looking happy, getting a nudge now, getting a booty bump there from Kuznetsov. Giving the good old booty bump as they go around the wagon bend. Left-hander. It's been a lap already, and the short track, how quick do we do these laps? 47 of them tonight. We're already, lap number 20 has been completed. We're on lap number 21 at the moment. Corey Shepard's still leading this race. Everyone's travelled the pits once except Jake Maloney. I hope he's read the rule book, the driver's brief. 2 compulsory pit stops here tonight. We know they're probably going to get themselves, they probably can do most of the race on one tank of fuel, so they don't need to take a look. I want to start a heavy, as Maloney looks like he is in the pit, so we'll see him go back a number of positions there. Place now goes. Have a look at this under brake so you can see hanging off the right side of Kuznetsov. Really shows how Jordan Ross's car is going. You can see him just covers off there, makes the car wide. Kuznetsov on the outside. The gearing that Kuznetsov has in this car, they must have those shorter gears in there. It's really helping the acceleration out of the corners. Just a little bit of limiter. Just a fractional limiter there when he gets the car on the run, giving Jordan Ross that opportunity in turn number 1. Grabs that limiter. Just to slot him behind him here. Throws a bit of dust up in his way. Do you reckon that might be a tactic there from Jordan Ross? Throw dust in the eye of the driver behind you. Goes up on the curb there for Ross. Here we go, down at the carousel. Jordan looking a lot smoother on this. I really like the view off the front of Kuznetsov car. You can see the different surfaces as we go around this road track here at Summit Point. Lots of little bumps, lots of little undulations as they go up and down. And look at Ross just pull away at this point. So Kuznetsov there might be looking to come in. No, he doesn't. I thought maybe he was looking to come in, decided that he might grab an early second pit stop possibly and get himself some fresh air, bring this race home. There's a lot of laps though as we have a look at the humidity, 34%, 34 degrees on track. So quite warm out there. Probably going to make it a little bit slippery for some of the drivers. We see the cars slide out here, and that's Stokes there sliding the car. Adam Hayne trying to get a move done on Michael Whiting as they head down the main straight. He might look on the inside of Stokes as well. He's not going to be up high enough. He is going to hold out Michael Whiting, push him to the outside. Whiting might try for the crisscross, but he stays too wide. And Adam Hayne will get that move done. Nice manoeuvre done there. Does it nicely. They let each other have a bit of room. And in the background, you can see Jake Maloney from Trans-Tasman Racing has done that pit stop and used his fast repair to get that boot repaired on that car. So used up the 1 fast repair you are allowed in the race tonight. Of course, 47 laps to do around Summit Point. It's short, sharp. We get around 3.19 kilometres, and that's why we've done so many laps. 47 to do, over 150 kilometres. We're looking at about a minute 8 or a minute 9, roughly in race pace. The ladder there slides the car out. And the alcohol holder entry there. So ladder in position number 7 there, just in front of this pack. We see a move in the background. Hayne going to have another go on Stokes. Adam Hayne gets the move done under brakes. Can he hold on to it? They go too wide, a little bit of contact. Outside, Maloney now is in prime contention there. Grabs some grass there as they head down the main straight. That won't help him with the run. Goes down the inside now under brakes. Maloney is using 3 lanes. The fresh tyres really doing their job. Stands it right on the nose of that car too. I think the spoiler was almost dragging along the front. I mean, he has waited so long to come in the pits there for Maloney. So those tyres are very, very new. It was only a couple of laps ago he was in. So he's got about 7 laps less on those tyres than the other guys. So that is, you see the real difference between the tyre wear there and how much grip he's getting out of those ones. Todd Hayne and the Taipan Esports, what a night from him. His qualifying lap did not go to plan. He did not manage to record a time, and he's had to work his way. Got involved in the incident there at the start of the race for Todd Hayne, but he's managed to work his way back, get the pit stop strategy right. He's up 14 positions, up to P number 14 now, and looking to get Matthew Hunt. Jamie Dyke, who, look, last week he got caught up in some incidents, but this week, the week before, Jamie Dyke ended up 5th. And how did he go? It was amazing how fast he was towards the end of the race, and he is right up the back of Brian Borg again. Now, Brian Borg, very seasoned racer there. you cannot take anything away from the pace of Brian Borg, but Jamie Dyke and the Fishy Motorsports entry up P6 and challenging for position number 5 and Brian Borg. Now, if you can get past Brian Borg, you can get past anyone, even Jordan Ross. That's what I'm going to say. If you can get past Borgie, you can get past anybody. So Jamie Dyke's going to have to find a way to make that happen, or he's going to have to look at his pit stop strategy and what he does there. Is it an opportunity maybe for Jamie Dyke to do the undercut on Brian Borg? Borgie, he knows how to play that strategy out, what he wants to do. So you can't make that happen, maybe Jamie Dyke taking early pit stop. Jordan Ross is deciding to do that. That's interesting from Jordan Ross. He is in the pit. Tyres. He might take tyres here and take the risk that maybe a safety car. Borg covers off Dyke, though, comes down the inside, and Dyke, you can see the Fishy Motorsport entry around the outside. Will he go a bit wider and try to crisscross, look for the run? Can't quite get it done. Borg covers him off. Borg has covered about 2/3 of that lane, I reckon, with one car. He is, without hanging the car sideways, you can't cover any more of that road than what Brian Borg just did. That was perfect positioning. Just not quite enough room on the inside there for Jamie Dyke to put the nose in, but out wide enough too that you've got to push really far out. Locks the brake up though for Borg, grabs the wheel. Dyke puts the nose in. It's not the right part of the track though where he can take advantage of that one. You're going to watch him come out of the carousel. Shallow into this corner might not work though for Dyke, won't give him the run. He might be able to have another look. It's risky once you come out of down this back straight and you head down to the final corner, because you do have that little lip, I'm going to call it, as you go over there, and it kinks off. Right, ball goes in the pits. So Jamie Dyke can get on with business now. Let's have a look at his time. That was 109.18. Last lap was a 110 there for Jamie Dyke, and I'll be interested to see what his next lap will be. So Brian Borg in the pits, Sebastian Flock also in the pits. We'll have to wait and see where they come back out. We're on board Kyle Stokes. Okay, Science entry, Kyle Stokes from Synergy Sim Racing. Head back to Don Parkinson, just holding out Adam Hayne at the moment. So this is position number 6.7. Sorry, Todd Hayne. Todd Hayne, sorry, I got the wrong Hayne because I had been up a number of positions, but with these pit stops happening again, Todd Hayne is now up 20 positions to P8 from back of the grid. The Taipan Esports entry, what a drive from him on the back of John Parkinson. And we know Todd Hayne will have the pace to be able to go past. He probably is the faster car out of these two, but can he get the overtaking manoeuvre done? That is the question. It's all about getting those overtaking manoeuvres done. As we look back, is that Ken Ladder there and just getting overtaken by Rob Bowden, as it looks like they're coming off the back of their second pit stops as well. So just waiting for the positions to go through. You're going to go too wide. Not going to give it up on Bowden. Bowden up on the ripple strip there. Two wheels, gets pushed to the inside. Ladder down the inside now. Pushes Bowden out. Looks like he's got that move done. The Simrings DPR entry. So Ladder up to P15. Rob Bowden drops back in the tanked SRT entry to P16. Ladder just drives away. Have a look at this one now. Todd Hayne not going to get the move done. John Parkinson as they head down to turn number 1 to finish that lap off. Of course, that's lap 27. So Jamie Dyke has now gone through pit lane as well and ends up back in the same position as he did last time behind Brian Borg. And look, he's probably not happy about seeing the rear wing of Borgie. Probably thinking, not again. How many laps is it going to take me? I just got to wait for Brian to make a mistake. That's the easiest way to get past Brian Borg, is if he pinches a brake maybe and you take a bit of a risk on the outside. But even then, you never know what Borg will do. He's got a few tricks up his sleeve. You see Parkinson holding out Todd Hayne. So having a look at what lap they came in on. So they came in quite early. There's only 1 lap difference there in the tyre wear for them. So Todd Hayne is on a 1 lap older tyre. Might not quite have enough life in it to make this move. Might be a good opportunity for him to come to the pit lane and maybe re-establish himself, with a lot of other drivers also doing their second run there. Pit lane, now here we go. He's going to go down the main straight. He's got the draft. He's under brakes. Down the gears. Parkinson holds out wide. Jordan Ross is behind him as well. Now Ross has done 2 pit stops. And if I look at this, so Ross has done really well here. He is the only one of the drivers that was in the top 4 there who has done 2 pit stops. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out for Jordan Ross with the undercut. He's probably hoping Parkinson comes in for a pit stop to make it a little bit easier for him. Doesn't want to push on there. And John Parkinson, privateer, we've got up on our screen. Imagine him teaming up with someone like the Synergy guys or the Premier Race team, even the Fishy Motorsports guys been really strong of late too, to team up with some people and just get those setups right and be able to bounce off other people with the setup of the car. I mean, John Parkinson doing a fantastic job tonight in position number 7. Todd Hayne, Type N Esports, still to get the pits. We'll have to wait and see. Andrew Dyson now, I'm just having a look as he has gone through the pits twice as well. But Dyson's got in early and done that. Here we go. Jordan Ross going to get the move done, and he won't get the move done there on Hayne, though. He might be able to push him along. Hayne still a little bit quicker. Jordan Ross on some fresh tyres. Todd Hayne, very old tyres now. Came in lap 14. Sorry, in lap 14 to get those. So we'll have to wait and see. Corey Shepard now in the pits. I reckon he's probably heard about what Jordan Ross has done. He's been strong of late. Of course, Ross second in the championship at the moment and was second on the podium last week. Jordan Ross took the risk, came in early, tried the undercut, probably hurt him a little bit here being caught up in traffic. Kuznetsov now comes in, the Premier Race team. The two young guns are in the pits. They're in there for a little bit. Maybe they're going to take tyres. This one maybe doesn't look like they are. They might have got that done. Hayne comes into the pits. There can't much rubber left on those tyres. They've got to be down to canvas. Jordan Ross comes over. Corey Shepard and Andrew Dyson. Corey's out. Kuznetsov behind Jordan Ross. So Jordan Ross will stay in front of Kuznetsov. And back to this battle. They've both been in the pits now. They've done the tour. They're 2 pit stops in. Jamie Dyke on the outside. And Borg just doesn't give him enough room to put that car around the outside, does he? He'll cover this off again. And he'll give you about 3/4 of a width of a car coming out of that corner. So, again, you've got to put a wheel on the grass to try and make that move happen. And the moment you do that, you're just going to lose all drive around the circuits. As Borg slides the car out, he needs to apply as much acceleration as possible to hold out a fast-paced Jamie Dyke. Adam Hayne now stuck between Michael Whiting and Sebastian Flock. Just a little lock. Just gives them a bit of a nudge, maybe. Wasn't much daylight between those two cars. Whiting holding on to position number 10. Oh, he goes wide. Hayne, the curb car gets unsettled, goes sideways. Now they're side by side again. The right-hander up on the curb there for Hayne. 3 wide as they go down. Whiting still in front. Flock gets involved in this exchange of liveries, I'm going to call it. A bit of panel work exchanging there, and Flock gets the move done on Adam Hayne, so he'll need to re-establish himself there, Hayne. Maybe just settle down for a couple of corners, get comfortable back, get his bearings, stay with Flock. An opportunity maybe if Flock thinks he's got it, as Flock just slides the car a little bit now and invites Hayne back into the fight. Michael Whiting, his heart's got to slow down a little bit now. If he's looking in the rear vision mirror, he's thinking, you guys fight it out. Just let me drive away from it. Here we go. Hayne has a look down the inside. Flock goes out wide. He's defensive down in the corner. The head in the carousel. He covers it off. Hayne gets the nose in. They're side by side. They've got to be 2 wide through here. Same position as last time as Hayne gets the move done, but Flock could come back from this. You just never know. You look, Parkinson now goes into the pits. We'll get the second pit stop done for John Parkinson. We'll have to see where he ends out. Have a look at Todd Hayne, back to Type N Esports entry now. He has done both pit stops, and he is back in position number 15. A great 13 positions gained since the start of the race after being put on the rear of field. So that is a nice little fight back from him, but the pit stops are run and done. And I think that is most of our front runners. The only one is Jake Maloney, who took a very late pit stop on lap 21 compared to everyone who did it in teens. So we'll have to wait and see. As the only other person out there is Tyson McAvoy from One Performance Racing, who has not taken a pit stop. Todd Hayne now on the back of Rob Bowden, though. Ken Latta just in front and just stepping out into the sand. Just behind, you got to see John Parkinson. They were having a little battle before, Todd and Parkinson, so now the pit stops. That will resume if Todd has to get on the back of this little train behind Bowden, holding him up at the moment. The Switch Panel Pro entry from Taipan Esports. It's giving Ken Latta an opportunity, the Alco Holder DPR entry, just to open that gap up on Bowden. Bowden doesn't look like he's too defensive at this point. You never know, though. We go down the main straight. No one coming out of pits. There's plenty of room, though, for him to come out and have a look. Does he have a look for Hayne? Thinks he can get it done under brakes. Pulls out. Not going to happen. Bowden late on the brakes there. We'll cover him off. Bowden doing a fantastic job under brakes. He goes wide around the corner, but doesn't hurt him in the defence. In the background, though, John Parkinson closing the gap down. And this is Bowden. If he can let Parkinson catch up to Hayne, maybe that will just ease the pressure a little bit. Maybe. They're right on the back, though, of Latta again. Parkinson, Hayne, Bowden. They all bunch up behind Latta. Latta seems to enjoy this part after the carousel, though, as he drives away. DPR car just seems a lot better set up for the back half of the track. We'll have to wait and see how this is. Troy Maguire in the pits now for his second pit stop. Oh no, what's this? That's Adam Hayne, is it? Going back with Adam Hayne and Michael Whiting. We'll have to wait for a replay of that one there. And here we go, the replay now. Michael Whiting looks like contact. Bit of a booty bump there. That's not what we want to see. Adam Hayne will probably redress that situation, is why you see him on the grass. So letting Michael Whiting go by, and they'll redress that one in the meantime, though. It's let 4 cars go by. So Adam Hayne doing the right thing in that one, but Michael Whiting really losing. Again, though, they're going to bunch up now. This is not going to be a 4-car battle now. This is going to turn into a 6-car battle. Oh, the nose goes in on Todd Hayne on Bowden. Bowden saw it, luckily. Decided he wasn't going to close it down and make contact. Very easy to get spun around on this track. Very, very easy with the flat attack. See, you can just see the cars go those little bumps and unsettles them. And if you've got your foot hard in the accelerator sometimes, it can just spin the wheels and very easy for the car to step out. So street circuit can be tricky, and that's what we've got here at Summit Point Raceway. Look at them go, 6 long. 6 carriages in this little train. It starts at position number 10 with Ken Latta and goes all the way back to Adam Hayne in position 15. It's right up again. Just doesn't want to make contact again. And in the meantime, Matthew Brunt is not too far away. Can we make this a 7-carriage train? Maybe. Just maybe we can put a 7th carriage on. They're all backed up behind Latta. He goes a little bit wide, Latta. Covers him off there for Bowden. Parkinson looks like he's still a little bit impatient as well. All this is doing is chewing up the tyres for the guys that have the speed. They need to get these moves done. There's no more pit stops. Everyone should be able to drive home from here unless they've got their fuel calculations wrong. I don't know how you can. 1 tank of fuel will do around about 44 to 46 laps around here. So they've only got to take a dash fuel when they come in. So I wouldn't think we're going to have that. It's going to be how the tyres go. Parkinson has a look down on Hayne, decides not to do it. Bowden gets a lock up on the brakes. Hayne, he locks up as well by the looks. The opportunity missed there. If they'd read that one correctly, maybe Hayne would have got that move done. He has a look over Bowden. Starting to see a bit of impatience there, I think. Bowden really wanted to make that move done. He caused a lock-up. Then, you know, settles the car behind. Have a look at Adam Hayne now in the back of this pack. He's already run into the back of Michael Whiting, which is why they're on the back of this train. They were in front. Unfortunately, they made contact. Adam Hayne redressed that. But in the meantime, the 4 cars in front just zip by down the main straight. Corey Shepard still leading this race, and there's still a battle going on between Brian Borg and Jamie Dyke, another one of our exciting battles. They're out on the dirt there for Whiting. Adam Hayne may have got this position done. Don't think there was any contact in the background. Todd Hayne just gets in the side mirror of Bowden. Not going to make the move on this one. He's right up under the rear bar, though. That's almost got to be contact. Almost got to be contact there. Bowden's going to have to look out, because at some point, I think Todd Hayne's going to have to take a risk. Will Todd Hayne have a go at Bowden on this lap? We'll have to find out. They're short laps. They count down very quickly. 47, you think you got a few up your sleeve, but we're 38 laps completed already. So we're less than 10 laps left to go in round number 13 here from Summit Point Raceway. Side of Virginia. So Corey Shepard leads this race at the moment with 39 laps, on lap number 39, I should say. And he is out in front with 4 second lead up with Dyson just being very dominant once again. Dyson started on the front row alongside, so he'll be happy to come home in P2, I reckon. Andrew Dyson, after the mid-season he would like to forget. This battle is still going on for position number 5. We were pushing it earlier. It was between Brian Borg and Jamie Dyke, and now Jake Maloney's decided, hey, I want a piece of the action too. Who else wants position number 5? Watch out, because they're all lined up in the background. So Jake Maloney onto this one. If they hold this up any longer, Kyle Stokes will be invited into this little battle that's going on. So Brian Borg's been holding out Jamie Dyke. Dyke did have a 5th place finish there a couple of rounds ago. So he could make this happen. He just needs to wait for that opportunistic moment. In the meantime, the tyres are wearing. He's lost the advantage of the slightly fresher tyres. Maloney down the inside. Dyke tries to drive around the outside. Looks like he's got a good drive out of this one. He'll hold on to this one as they go down to the left-hander. Gives Borg a little bit of breathing room in the front. Here we go, back to this one. It's position 10 in the front ladder. Todd Hayne, he's been waiting laps to get past Bowden. He gets the move done down the main straight under brakes. Parkinson's going to try and follow him through. Adam, his brother as well. Bowden, just a bit of a wiggle in the background. Todd Hayne definitely has a position. Parkinson might not get this one. Bowden holds on in the Tank SRT entry. Bowden doesn't push him out on the third. Gentlemen racing here side by side, 2 wide. Adam Hayne for any sort of daylight to put the nose into. Michael Whiting on the back of this one as well. Great driving from Bowden and Parkinson there. Awareness of where each driver is. Didn't make contact in the end. Side by side, Bowden gets the position back. Maloney now on Dyke as they go down the main straight. You see Coleman in the background rejoining the race after coming out of the pits. This time Maloney will get the move done. Same move he made last lap. Oh, no contact made. Just pushed a little bit wide, and they rubbed tyres there from Jamie Dyke. Gives him a flash of the lights. Maloney obviously took that very late first pit stop, so was in late again. And, has a number of less laps on those tyres. So it was only Jake Maloney only came in on lap 33. So just having a look up and down. Tops, that looks like he might have the freshest tyres on out of the lot, except some of our back markers there who come in. So wait and see. Adam Hayne, that is up on your screen there with Michael Whiting behind, Parkinson in front. So Todd Hayne got by, and it looks like he does have a little bit more pace. He's opening up a small gap there. He might be able to catch up to Ken Latta. Remember, he started off the back of the grid here tonight, Type N Esports entry, up 17 positions so far. Now, well, Parkinson has to watch out for Adam Hayne, his brother, Rob Bowden. Just, it's a little bit of a reprieve there. Not a big one, but a little bit. You can see that gap just going back just enough. Let's have a look. They go down here. No one going to make the move this time around. Not quite in the position to do it. Not under that rear wing grabbing the draft. But Matthew Brunt in the background. He's looking at the pack in front and just trying to catch them each and every lap. There's a head over now. It's a bit more sedate this time around. We're not seeing them too wide. We're on lap number 43 or 47 here for the Jinx Shifters. Round number 13 for Summit Point Raceway. AOSC on your Friday night. The entertainment factor has been here. It's all been for position number 10. It's Ken Latter and the Acker holder DPR holding onto it. Todd Hayne now in position 11. Then it goes to Bowden, Parkinson, Adam Hayne, Whiting back to 15. So 6 cars involved in that one. And another battle going on in front between Borg, Maloney and Dyke. Dyke couldn't get past Borg. Then he's got into a touch there with Maloney, but Maloney on the fresher tyres. He's now had the opportunity. Dyke goes round back marker in the back. That might be Coleman, I think, Dave Coleman. Fishy Motorsports entry, teammates. They both go wide. Dyke here might get an opportunity to just close this gap up a bit. Maloney finishing this race on much fresher rubber. But Borg, he has the tricks. He knows how to make that Mustang twice as wide. You can see him, he'll just close off the corner a bit early. When they come out of the corner, he just leaves about 3/4 of a car. Not enough room to put the nose in, or if you want to have a go, you're going to drop a tyre out on the dirt. See the pit stop strategies down there on your bottom right. It's pretty much a cut it into thirds for Shepard. He didn't need to take any risk. Dyson, not too much different from that one. But you see the ladder there, he had that really early first pit stop there. Try and push him up, and that's probably helped him gain those 3 positions. Stokes is another one of those, up 16 positions. So that early pit stop, really effective for him. But his tyres are going to be hurting at the end of this race. They are already 19 laps old. So Kyle Stokes, Synergy Sim Racing car with Maloney sideways under brakes. Borg has to get defensive. Jamie Dyke now back in the fight. Right under the rear wing of Maloney. This is very similar to what we saw as the tyres started to wear last time for Maloney, and then he spun out, got involved in the incident, lost a number of positions. So the car looks like the back of the car does not have as much grip as you would like out of a supercar, especially when it comes under braking. Very heavy on the front brakes. You can see when he stands on them, it just goes nose down. Brian Borg now, though, breathe a sigh of relief for a lap or two. Maloney won't be close enough to make a dive down the inside on this lap. They're back to Todd Hayne and Ken Latter now. The fight for position 10, and Hayne hangs it out on the dirt. Holds onto it. Definitely knew exactly what was going on there to put the steering wheel in the right position to grab that one before anything happened. So having a look, we're going to see any moves in the background from his brother Adam Hayne. Not going to happen this time, but a bit of a squiggle there under brakes. Parkinson doing a nice job. Back onto our battle for position number 5, and Brian Borg still holding out Jake Maloney with Jamie Dyke behind them. Oh, Maloney's car is just loose. And here we go, another battle. Jordan Ross in 3rd position with Rick Kuznetsov. These two have battled it out before. Kuznetsov there needs to find a way. Jordan just cuts him off down the inside line. He's doing everything. I mean, I'm sure Kuznetsov has put many hours in with Brian Borg in front of him, because it's similar tactics there from Jordan Ross. And Kuznetsov now, Jordan Ross, to the car inside. Rick Kuznetsov has the outright pace over Jordan Ross. That's where it's at. We're on lap number 46 and 47, so they're running out of laps to get this done for Kuznetsov. Jordan Ross could find himself on the podium once again, and wouldn't that be great for him, because he is so far in the last 5 rounds, he's had 5 podiums. Can he make it 6 from 6? Here we go. Todd Hayne down the inside of Ken Ladder. Gets the move, pulled Ladder sideways a little bit. Bowden now closed the gap. Parkinson right on the back of Bowden. Little bit of a gap back to Adam Hayne. It's another one. Ladder has a look down the inside. Not going to happen on Todd Hayne. Having a look. Kuznetsov has the move done on Ross. We can see up there on our timing boards. It's the final lap of racing. Oh no! Unsettles the car as he goes over the hump, and it looks like, wow, Kuznetsov gets through and takes that position as Jordan Ross really joins the race. Oh, and the white flag is out. We're on the final lap of this race. Corey Shepard dominating. Andrew Dyson in second. They're not under any pressure. Kuznetsov now has that third position with Jordan Ross in 4. It's these cars, though. Where will they end up? Position 10, Todd Hayne at the start. 11, Ladder. 12 is Bowden. Steele. Parkinson gets defensive on Adam Hayne, who's now in 14. Michael Whiting behind him. What a drive. In the middle of this, we've got Kyle Stokes on a run. As we go across and grab the checkered flag, the Mr. Antenna, show him a bit of love, gets himself a win here. So, the Premier Racing Team, Corey Shepard gets a win, gets another win. Oh no, Kuznetsov now goes back. Looks like might be a redress there, and Jordan Ross in third. Andrew Dyson ended up in second. Kuznetsov fourth. Brian Borg, we'll have to wait and unfold that one for you. Jake Maloney third by the looks of it. And Jamie Dyke in seventh. Now Kyle Stokes, impressive drive from him tonight. He is up 16 positions. The Synergy Sim Racing entry. Then we go back. As they cross the line here, it's going to be Todd Hayne, Kenneth Ladder, Rob Bowden, Parkinson, Adam Hayne, Whiting, Matthew Brunt, Alex Newton, Greg Sharp now in the Dakota Sim Sport entry. Damien Johnson back in 19, and 20 will be Tyson McAvoy. As Corey Shepard doing the celebration around here at Summit Point Raceway. It's 47 laps, short track. He dominated, not only pre-qualifying, he was a 10th in front in qualifying. As the burnout celebrations get underway, he effectively led the race from start to finish in the Mr. Antenna Mustang. Corey Shepard dominating season number 11 of the Jinx Shifters AOSC. That would be a bit of a win cup moment there, wouldn't it? Where he crashes in the burnout celebrations. It's not going to hurt him much. The team won't be staying up all night to fix that one. All right, let's check out the results from race number 204 in AOSC. It's round number 13 from Summit Point Raceway in season 11 of the Jinx Shifters AOSC. Corey Shepard grabs himself another win, and that'll be win number 5 now of this season. Second will be Andrew Dyson, who gets on the podium. He only got his first podium at the end of last year. He got a couple at the start of this year, and it'll be good to see his season getting back on track, a bit more luck coming his way. Jake Maloney, what a night for him. It didn't all go to plan, and quite a bit of damage there, but he managed to bring the car home in third position there. So having a look at that. That doesn't look right up on our screens, does it, Jake Maloney? Because he was further out. Jordan Ross actually coming in third, so I don't know what our qualifying results. That's why. All right, that's all right. Our broadcast, we'll change that over. That was our qualifying results. That makes more sense. Corey Shepard and Andrew Dyson, look, they were 1-2 off the front row, and that's where they finished off. Jordan Ross comes home in third, and we will have to check that redress there maybe from Rick Kuznetsov, because that was a little bit strange there how he got that one back, but he was super defensive there holding out Rick Kuznetsov. And for Jordan Ross, that'll make him now the last 6 races, he's had 6 podiums. Rick Kuznetsov in fourth, though, Premier Racing Team Young Gun. Brian Borg holding out Jake Maloney and Jamie Dyke for 5th position there, and fantastic viewing to watch that race go for P5 between those 3. Kyle Stokes, well, although he wasn't in that battle, he took those risks in the pit stop strategy early on after starting way back in position number 24, and 16 position gains for Kyle Stokes. Now, let's sing a drive of the day points, supported by, obviously, simrigs.com and RaceKraft Simulations over in WA. I reckon Cole Stokes would have to be in for some points tonight there with that race in the 888 car. Next, it was Sebastian Flock, who came home in 9. Todd Hayne, well, qualifying didn't go to plan for him, and he started off the back row. He ends up in position number 10, got past Ken Ladder in the dying moments of the race. Rob Bowden in 12th, Parkinson 13, Hayne, Michael Whiting, they were all there. So it was from Todd Hayne all the way back to Michael Whiting. They fought those positions out right down to the wire in the final 7 or 8 laps of this race. Matthew Brunt just behind him in 16, Alex Newton 17, Greg Sharp in 18, Damien Johnson 19, Tyson McAvoy in 20, Dave Coleman 21, Dylan Thomas in 22, Chris Barnes in 23, Michael Taliantich, well, he was out early in position number 24. Sebastian Tixia looks like he retired after earlier coming into contact with Stephen Kokoschki when he was spun out on track. So very unfortunate night for Tixia, and we normally see him up a bit further than that, and Troy Maguire in the Fisher Motorsports entry in at 27. So there you go. It is the race number 13 of this season. We've only got 3 more to go, and they're coming to you from Donington National Circuit. The Snetterton will be next before we finish things off with a big enduro at Bathurst. But let's get our winners into the commentary box and have a bit of a chat with them. Corey Shepard, congratulations to Mr. Antenna Mustang. You were super dominant tonight, and did it feel good just to have some fresh air out in front?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it definitely did. I think that was key, qualifying and all that, because this track's very hard to pass. But yeah, it was good that we had all the fresh air and we could try and just drive away a bit and manage the gap to the guys behind.
How much experience have you had here at Summit Point before? Is this your first time here?
Yeah, this isn't really a track that we come to often, but I have raced here before, roughly, I'll say 1.5 years ago. But yeah, did a lot of laps this week, so we got used to it.
I noticed it wasn't just your car, but the Premier Racing Team cars. Did the setup feel really good tonight? Because the cars look very stable out there.
Yeah, it felt good, but yeah, we just keep pushing each other and all that. So yeah, we're getting fast.
Mate, run through your sponsors. It's fantastic because look, this is your 5th win. Actually, yeah, 5th win of the season.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Hopefully we get a few more, but yeah, this is exactly what we want to keep doing heading into the end of the season.
Yep. So I'm assuming Mr. Antennas you need to thank, and Premier Racing Team.
Yeah, big thanks to my sponsor, Mr. Antenna. Big thanks to all the guys at Premier Racing Team and to you guys for putting on the broadcast.
Mate, I'm sure we'll be speaking to you before the end of the season. Good luck at Donington next round.
Thanks, guys.
There you go, Corey Shepard, and dominating season number 11 of the Jinx Shifters AOSC, and he was leading the championship coming into this one. He had himself a 300-point lead, and he will go away and extend that out. It was 340 points. He will extend that a little bit more over Jordan Ross as we get our runner-up tonight, Andrew Dyson. Mate, it has been a while since we spoke to you. Your season started fantastically, and it's gone a bit you've gone everywhere this season. You've been up the front, you've been down the back. Great to be back on the podium.
Yeah, I miss you guys, man. It's been so long since I've been in here, dude. I figured I had to pull my finger out and actually have a go this week, and yeah, I luckily got here. Nearly had a monumental accident all by myself, but yeah, still ended up here with a few guys having some dramas tonight. So I'll take it. I
believe that was your first time starting out of the front row.
Nah, I started on the front row at Chicago, so I can't take that one.
I've been given some bad intel in the back.
No, you old stat man's.
So what you're telling me, the key to you getting on the podium is getting on the front row.
Oh, not really, mate. I usually luck my way to a podium from somewhere like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, or something like that. So the front row's never a guarantee for a podium, man.
Look, you didn't have the pace for Corey Shepard tonight, but you probably had a little bit of clean air. Is it exciting in the racing when you're not quite there to be in those battles?
Oh, I don't know, man. Your mind starts to wander, and you start to think about all sorts of other stuff and what the boys are doing and what games you're going to play later. And yeah, your mind wanders a bit when you're racing around like that. So you try and watch and see what your lap times are and set yourself some goals to try and stick under a certain number. And yeah, that's kind of keeps you busy. But he was too far away to kind of really be trying to have a go. And I had a big enough gap behind to kind of not be too worried about the pace. But yeah, that's how those races sort of go. You got to try and not let your mind wander too much.
Look, sometimes a race comes to you, doesn't it? No safety car tonight probably didn't help you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it would have helped me a whole lot. Pretty hard to pass around here, so and obviously Shepard is pretty quick. But yeah, I don't think a safety car really would have helped, but still surprised there wasn't one for sure.
Mate, run us through your sponsors, and congratulations again on second place tonight.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks to all the boys in DPR. A couple of them not here tonight, but we still got up and we're representing, so get around them. Simrigs.com, Southwell Listen Hoist, Bemax Mechanical, Best Heart Racing Service. Geez, I haven't got my list in front of me, so I'm missing a few. Alcoholder, get around those bad dogs. Actually, they're good blokes. They're not bad, but they're good blokes. Yeah, thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast, and thanks to the dudes at AOSC for putting this all together.
No worries, Dyson. And yeah, look, it's been too long between drinks, and let's make it happen again before the end of the season. You've got 3 more rounds to get on the podium.
Yeah, I'll have a dip. I'll pull my finger out and see if I can get here again.
No worries, mate. Congratulations on tonight. We'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, guys. See you later.
There we go. Second place tonight, Andrew Dyson. On the podium, and we get our third place getter in. Jordan Ross, mate. This is becoming a habit talking to you, isn't it?
How good is it?
I just think you like the airtime. That's why you're driving better at the end of the season.
That's all I'm here for, mate. My 2 minutes of fame on the AOSC broadcast. yeah. The Borgie. See ya.
Look, we know you've been talking to Brian Borg in the background. Was he just letting you know that you should let his young gun Rick Kuznetsov through?
I'm just doing what he does, mate. And I'm just using how the rules are and how it's interpreted. I'm just using that now because, like Rick did nothing wrong. Or like if the roles were reversed, I probably would have sent me and copped the drive through because of how aggressive I was blocking him. But yeah, he was told to redress, and the actual tap where he hit me is probably on him. But prior to that, I was blocking him pretty aggressive. I said I'd get the bumper out. I meant the rear bumper, and I blocked him all the way for third, mate.
Look, I just thought it was Whincup and Van Gisbergen from last weekend at Sydney. That's what it felt like to me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, except we're just not teammates. But no, he was much faster than me all race. I just used my old head to get a podium. That was all.
Look, and it's a swagger points. At the moment, you're still sitting second in the championship, and I know you're just here to have fun and get your 5 minutes of fame on the broadcast, but you're looking good in the championship as well. It's going to be almost impossible to get Corey Shepard. I mean, he's phenomenal, hasn't
he? Yeah, no, Corey's gone. Good, mate. He is killing it, and he's so fast. And like, you go in a practice session, and then he's like half a second faster than you all the time. So it's pretty much a fight for second, and I'm just trying to get second, mate, because that's for me is like a win. So that's what we'll try and do.
I'm going to take the focus off you for a second. I know you don't like that. Kyle Stokes, tonight, he has gone from back in 24th. Look, he's ended up 8th. So, Synergy, you've obviously got some car set up working for you.
To be honest, tonight, the car was pretty bad. But, yeah, Kyle was on a different set, so I might have to have a look at that set and see why his car was really good. My car was horrible.
Well, you can't deny 16 spots from Kyle Stokes, and yeah, that's a big night for him. And mate, look, there's no surprising Rick Kuznetsov was a lot faster than you because you were using about an extra kilometre of track to make sure he couldn't get past you.
yeah. But that's how it is. So that's how like a couple of laps to go. I'm not going to make it easy for him to get on the podium. I'm always going to have a crack. So
look, mate, it was fantastic talking to you, Jamie Whincup, and the rest of the season. All right.
No, Roy's Crumpto.
Jordan Ross, the JK Signs entry from Synergy Sim Racing. I can't thank him enough. He's always a laugh when we get him on the broadcast.
I think I'm going to go to the steward's room now to get whipped by Borgie.
We'll wait.
Yeah, it is. It's playing on every day of the week. But if you've got a spare box of Kleenex to give me to take to the steward's room, I'll give them to Borgie.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait for the official results to come out during the week, won't we?
No, it's all good, mate. It's all good.
It's all good. We'll give you third place now. Look, thanks, Jordan. We'll let you go. We got to wrap up the broadcast here tonight, of course. Big shout out to all of our sponsors to make this possible. Jinx Shifters, RaceKraft Simulations. I know in WA the sun's probably still up because it's about 1989 and about 4 o'clock over there. But the boys will have the simulators running for you at RaceKraft Simulations. If you want to go and check them out, go see Johnny and the boys. They'll run you through whether you want to get on them and have a good time or you want to get your parts. Of course, they team up with places like simrigs.com and Jinx Shifters to get some fantastic stuff in. Also, to thank AJ Insurance Services, Acuta Industries, Team 126, our American friends. I didn't see Jeffrey Eddy in the race tonight, unfortunately. Race Circuit Art Australia, and of course, Track Cams for Gourmets to give us some extra camera views around the track. Thanks to Nick Hausler, who's in our broadcast team in the background getting everything done. Can't wait. We'll see you back for Friday night as we come to you from Donington next week. It's going to be another 150K round number 14. Can't